Welcome back. Dr. Ford here. Today we're going to be diving into one of the most popular therapies in clinical practice, NAD injections. What it is, how it works, whether oral capsules are actually effective, and how IV NAD is dosed and infused in clinics. So let's start with the basics. NAD plus. Plus is the oxidized form of NAD, and it stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. And it is not a peptide. It's actually a coenzyme for your cells, used for energy production, metabolism, DNA repair, and healthy aging of your cells. You see, as we age, NAD levels decline. And with aging, patients experience fatigue, slow recovery, brain fog, and just decreased metabolic performance. Now, the most popular way patients like to receive NAD is through subcutaneous or intramuscular injections. Now, IV infusion in the clinics and capsules are also used, but injections are still the preferred method that most people like to use. And all injectable dosage forms are clinically effective at raising NAD levels. Now, most clinical protocols you may see are about 50 to 100 milligrams subcutaneous, administered about 2 to 3 times a week. And morning injections provide the optimal results because NAD does boost cellular energy production. So you don't want it to interfere with your sleep cycle. So you don't want to take it too close to bedtime. Now, if you decide to use intramuscular injections now you're about 100 to 300 milligrams several times a week. So what do patients actually feel when they're on NAD therapies? They tell us that they feel like a smooth, natural energy production, better mental clarity, improved workout performance, faster recovery, and enhanced metabolism. Now, remember, these benefits actually build slowly and gradually as NAD supports mitochondrial function, and it's the core of all cellular energy. So let's talk about side effects now. Now, NAD injections are generally well tolerated, and most reactions are mild and temporary. But patients do experience some side effects. And some side effects you may be experiencing will be the mild nausea, a warm flushing sensation, lightheadedness or dizziness, or like a brief feeling of pressure in your head, or sleep disturbances, as I mentioned, if you take it too close to bedtime. So these typically improve with either slowing the injection rate, reducing the dose, or just better hydration. Now, several reactions or severe reactions are rare, but most patients tolerate NAD well, and you kind of have your good dosing regimen you kind of have to stick with. Now let's talk with oral options. There's two of them you'll see in the market that most people buy online or at supplement retailers you'll hear about. And that's NMN, which is nicotinamide mononucleotide, or you might hear of NR, which is nicotinamide riboside. So NNM is actually a direct precursor to NAD. Your body converts NMM into NAD inside the cells. And there's a lot of human studies that show that there's a reliable increase of NAD levels when you take the capsules of NNM. So it's actually the most effective oral form of supplementing NAD. Now, nicotinamide riboside, NR, that's another precursor, and that also increases NAD, but it's generally not as strong, as consistent as NMN. And most commonly, people take NAD capsules, but NAD capsules, it's a large molecule and it does get broken down, so you will not get an effective increasing of dose if you take NAD capsules directly. So you really need to take the precursors instead of taking NAD capsules directly. Now let's talk about the IV infusion. Now, some clinics you may see offering IV infusion for patients. Now, that's the strongest and most immediate effect. But it does make sure the patient have to go to the office for these infusions. And the dosage could be from 250 milligrams all the way up to 1,000 milligrams. And it's an infusion somewhere between an hour and a half all the way up to 4 hours of infusion. So, and these NADs is mixed in like an IV saline bag, and it's infused slowly into the bloodstream. And based on your rate, you may have some nausea, flushing, chest pain, or rushing sensation, but this can be corrected by decreasing the rate of the infusion. Now, remember, NAD is not for everybody. So beyond pregnancy and breastfeeding, which is totally contraindicated, this should be cautiously used with patients who have either uncontrolled high blood pressure, have heart arrhythmias, anxiety, any type of cancers, unless it's cleared by your oncologist. Patients with any type of liver or kidney disease should not be using NAD or unless they're definitely medically supervised. So let's summarize. NAD is essential for energy, metabolism, cognition, and cellular longevity. And subcutaneous and intramuscular injections are the most popular effective delivery. IV NAD is the strongest immediate boost. However, you need to be in the clinic to get the infusion. And remember, the most effective way to take an oral NAD is going to be through NMN, is a top oral option, or NR. That's a milder increase of NAD, but it's definitely more effective than the NAD capsules that you may see sold in the market. Now, if you find this information helpful and you want more science-based insights on peptides, regenerative medicine, or performance health, I'm Dr. Ford. I'm here. Ask me questions, and I'll see you next episode.